Formula One at Indianapolis, the first major international sporting event in the USA since September the 11th. For round 16 of the Formula One World Championship, Michael Schumacher, the world champion, was on pole position, his 10th pole of the season. Alongside him on the front row, Ralf Schumacher, the 5th Schumacher, 1-2 of the year 2001. Juan Pablo Montoya, who won last time out at Monza on row 2, alongside Mika Hakkinen, who'd been relegated to 4th from 2nd after a pit lane infringement in the morning warm-up. On the third row, Nick Heidfeld equalled his best qualifying of the season. David Coulthard, second in the championship, was on row 4. On row 5, Jean Alesi celebrating his 200th Grand Prix with his best qualifying performance for Jordan. Alongside him, Jenson Button with his best qualifying of the season so far. At the start of the race, Michael Schumacher away quickly from the line, but Ralf Schumacher didn't make as good a start as his brother and was soon overtaken by Juan Pablo Montoya for second place and then by Rubens Barrichello. So it was Michael Schumacher leading from Montoya, Barrichello in third and Ralf Schumacher fourth, followed by the two McLarens. That was the order at the end of lap 1 of this 73-lap race. Problems for Kimi Räikkönen, the Finn sandwiched between Trulli and Heidfeld. And he had to crawl all the way round the 2.6-mile circuit to get back to the pits for attention to the front wing. Barrichello went past second-place man Montoya. It was now a Ferrari 1-2. Michael Schumacher moved aside to let his faster teammate through. Barrichello, ambitious to gain second place in the championship. 10 points here would do his chances no harm at all. Kimi Räikkönen explained what had happened to him as he went into retirement. 200th Grand Prix for Jean Alesi. He'd lost none of his old flair, past Button for 9th. Barrichello opened up a 12.5 second gap over his teammate Michael Schumacher. But then the reason for his pace was shown by his early pit stop. He'd been running light on fuel. Most teams were expected to stop just once. Barrichello was going against the trend. He'd need 2 pit stops. Michael Schumacher took over the lead. Right on his tail came Juan Pablo Montoya in the Williams. Montoya, a popular figure at Indianapolis after his years in American racing. And as they came down to the first turn, Montoya was plotting away past the world champion. Right into his slipstream. Michael Schumacher expected him on the outside. He went down the inside. A brilliant passing manoeuvre that brought the crowd and his father in the Williams pit to his feet. Nick Heidfeld into 8th place, ahead of Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher in the second Williams, nowhere near the pace of his teammate Montoya. Montoya from first place into the pits. A lengthy stop, 13.2 seconds, but he was fueled all the way to the finish. He dropped down to 5th. Michael Schumacher back in front. Out went Ralf Schumacher. Very disappointed man after a very disappointing race. And he was followed by his teammate. Montoya crawled to a halt. Michael Schumacher in from first place. Mika Hakkinen went into the lead for the first time. Schumacher underway. But now, up front, it was a McLaren 1-2. Hakkinen leading, Coulthard in second place. Then came the two Ferraris, Barrichello and Michael Schumacher. There's a brief collision between De La Rosa and Villeneuve. Villeneuve in a spin. Hakkinen in the pits, the second McLaren stop. Coulthard had earlier dropped from second to fourth. It was now Barrichello in the lead. Hakkinen came out of the pits ahead of Michael Schumacher to take second place as Villeneuve retired his BAR. Barrichello into the pits from first place. Hakkinen came off the banking, over start finish, and with Barrichello not yet at the pit lane exit, it was Hakkinen back in first place. Barrichello came out just ahead of his teammate Michael Schumacher. David Coulthard was still in fourth place. The battle between Heidfeld and Irvine for sixth. Irvine hadn't picked up any points in Formula One since his podium finish at Monaco. Barrichello attempting to close the gap on Mika Hakkinen. Ron Dennis watching the timing screens, which will be becoming very interesting indeed, with Michael Schumacher holding up David Coulthard. Fascinating race for all concerned, particularly Rubens Barrichello, until the gremlin struck. He began to lose time on Hakkinen. Hakkinen's lead increased to almost 9 seconds as Barrichello's Ferrari started to spout plumes of smoke. Michael Schumacher was trying to hold Coulthard at bay. Barrichello was struggling on in the hopes that he might finish in the points. Jarno Trulli looked to have made certain of at least fifth place for Jordan. Barrichello eventually went out with a seized engine. Hakkinen, unchallenged, drove on towards the checkered flag. Into the shadow, out into the sunlight. 10 points for Mika Hakkinen, the man who's taking a sabbatical in 2002. Delighted Finn, home first at Indianapolis in just over 1 hour 32 minutes. Michael Schumacher quick to signal his congratulations. David Coulthard in third place alongside him too. Smile of satisfaction from Ron Dennis. But the most delighted man on the whole circuit, undoubtedly Mika Hakkinen. Confirmation of the way that they finished: Hakkinen, Michael Schumacher and David Coulthard on the podium. Jarno Trulli in fourth place, but later he was disqualified because of the amount of wear on that Jordan's skid block. The team and the driver will appeal. Irvine and Heidfeld, plus probably a Lacey, pick up the remainder of the points. No reward for Barrichello, despite a brilliant drive. Barrichello's chances of picking up second place in the Drivers' Championship now look forlorn. He needs to win next time out in Japan to stand any sort of chance. These are the not classified drivers, including the two Williams men, Juan Pablo Montoya, who led the race at one stage, and Ralf Schumacher, who never recovered from a poor start. The cheers for the Flying Finn, Mika Hakkinen. Hakkinen on the top step of the podium, despite the most unpromising beginning.
All that frustration, what happened this morning, and to sitting here in the middle and winning Grand Prix, it's just flat out, I don't know, I'm just incredible. I'm very happy, pleased. I don't know the words to even say,
For Michael Schumacher, his 13th podium finish of the season.
Mika, I think he won fair and square. I'm pretty happy for him because to some degree justice came probably into place after what happened to him this morning. And therefore, I think today the results, at least I can live very well with that.
David Coulthard increased his chances of finishing second in the Drivers' Championship.
I think I've been very fortunate today. I've obviously benefited from other people's misfortune, allowed me to come back up into third place. Very happy for Mika. Before the race, he wasn't so sure of what his chances of winning were, and I told him pretty confident he could win this race with the tyre situation. And then obviously with what happened to him earlier in the day, I think, as Michael mentioned, it was justice to turn it around.
And this is the Drivers' Championship with just one race to go. Michael Schumacher already holds the title. 7 points between David Coulthard and Rubens Barrichello, meaning that Barrichello has to win in Japan to stand any sort of chance. Ralf Schumacher on 48, Mika Häkkinen now on 34. The rest of the drivers all scrapping over the minor positions. As far as the Constructors' Championship is concerned, Ferrari already have that in the bag, of course. They have 167 points. McLaren are certain of second, Williams of third. But subject to the appeal of Jordan and Jarno Trulli, Jordan could go down to 17 points, level with their Honda rivals BAR, and Sauber up to 22. Just Minardi are waiting to score a point this season. So that was Indianapolis 2001. And this, the winner, Mika Häkkinen.